We are excited to reveal the groundbreaking discovery that our success and well-being depends mostly on the level of our consciousness, rather than the level of our IQ, education, talent, or skills. This refers to the success of both individuals and whole organizations, including companies, sports teams, political parties, and nations. What that means is our consciousness goes up and down throughout the day and the life, from the low destructive modes of fear, worry, criticalness, anger, blame, hedonism, pessimism, arrogance, and other flows, to the higher constructive modes such as responsibility, neutrality, optimism, love, joy, inner peace, and other virtues. All these modes of consciousness have their values on a scale of consciousness, and when you add them together, you get the overall level of your consciousness, which affects your well-being and success. Likewise, the overall level of consciousness of a whole team or nation determines the level of well-being and success of the whole organization or country. On the basis of that discovery, we crafted a powerful, empowering procedure called virtuification that instills virtues in the participants through the innovative program called Virtuology, which includes some amazing gear to raise your consciousness so as to raise your ability to achieve all your goals. The essence of Virtuology is the premise that the level of our well-being and success, including our wealth, health, work, and relationships, is determined by the level of our consciousness. Another fundamental premise behind Virtuology is that disease cannot exist in high vibration tissue. And since we raise our consciousness and frequency with virtues, the scope of our well-being is in proportion to the extent to which we cultivate our virtues. By raising the level of our consciousness, we raise the level of our material and spiritual well-being. We raise the level of our consciousness by virtuifying ourselves, that is, by activating and cultivating highly potent virtues. For raising own consciousness, that is, for virtuification, Virtuology is there to help. Virtuology is the science of virtues. It is the social science of consciousness, devoted to the study of the influence of virtues on happiness and success. Virtuology is your consciousness manual. Virtuology adds a new layer to the self-development field, and with emphasizing the virtues as a fundament, it is a game changer. This is the silver bullet you've been waiting for. Virtuology is not related to ethics or morality, as it doesn't concern itself with principles of right or wrong, or with the idea of moral superiority and duality. Virtuology offers a new way of being in the world, a new frame of reference, or a conceptual framework. Virtuology unites all these forms of knowledge under one flag. Virtuology is a breakthrough way to help anyone to virtuify themselves and so excel, achieve any goal, overcome all challenges, make the right decisions, get the right ideas, find the best solutions and the correct answers, create everything needed for lasting and complete joy, peace, and freedom, and make a breakthrough to a new sublime level of existence. Basic tenets of Virtuology are virtuification, which stands for raising consciousness by virtues, living by the universal laws and the golden rule, and non-duality, that is, non-dual thinking. Virtuology is a means of empowerment for a breakthrough and transformation needed for success and general well-being. Virtuology promotes virtues as the key to success and well-being. Virtues are essentially constructive modes of consciousness that combine the mental, emotional, and physical aspects of our being, and are indispensable means of well-being. So, when we talk about love as a virtue, for instance, it is not meant as the love that is a mere emotion or just a state of mind, but as the love that expresses itself synchronously in thoughts, emotions, and deeds. There are too many virtues to mention them all here, but here are some in no particular order. Virtuology is all about virtues. It asserts virtues as means to success and well-being. Virtuology stands for the idea that virtues are the means for excellence, charm, charisma, lasting success, happiness, wealth, health, growth, and progress. Virtues are as important as knowledge, skills, talents, and IQ, if not more. Virtues determine the level of success, but not any virtues. For each particular goal, specific virtues are required. Virtuology facilitates the virtuification, which is the process of raising consciousness by activating and cultivating virtues effectively, respective to context. Therefore, virtuification is the process of refinement and liberation. Virtuology is about taking advantage of our virtues, harnessing the power of virtues as the means of success. Virtuology is there to help you release your full potential through activating your virtues and deactivating your flaws, and so empower you to achieve lasting success and well-being, to live a meaningful and joyful life. Virtuology is there to assist you to be the best version of yourself, so that you can have the best life. Virtuology is also there to support you in liberating yourself from the negative subconscious programming with the power of virtues, by equipping you with all the gear for purifying and raising your consciousness. The mission of virtuology is to get the best out of humans, to bring the essential human nature to light, to kindle the humanity in everyone, to raise everyone's consciousness, to virtuify the world a bit more. The premise of virtuology is that to be happy, successful, and prosperous, we need more than just knowledge and skills. We need virtues most of all. We can have the highest education possible, know everything there is to know, be talented, and take action all day long, but if we don't practice certain virtues, all that will be in vain. Knowledge, talent, skills, and technology are useless without certain virtues. Virtues empower them. They are the X factor, which gives power and effectiveness to knowledge, talent, and skills. Truth be told, most highly educated and talented people are powerless, not successful, and live in debt. This is because power doesn't come from knowledge or education, skills, and talents. Power comes from virtues. With such knowledge-based economies, the world has shaky foundations, causing many cultures to undergo collapse, crisis, and unstable economy, with most people living in debt and struggling. There is a collapse, crisis, and unstable economy in any country or organization whenever success is based on knowledge or education rather than virtues. Knowledge as a main or sole foundation doesn't have the power to sustain any economy. Virtuology model for preventing and overcoming any crisis, as well as for sustainability, development, and prosperity, is that economy, society, and the success of organizations and individuals should be based on at least 3 pillars, not just one: on knowledge, skills, and virtues, with emphasis on the virtues. The success of an economy, as of anything else, is not achieved by one key factor alone, but rather by combination of knowledge, skills, work, experience, systems, technology, communication, relationships, unity, quality, low cost, resources, marketing, innovation, leadership, etc. All of which bring value only when they are based on virtues. The road to success is paved with virtues. This awareness leads to a paradigm shift, in which we evolve from a knowledge-based to a virtue-based society and economy, which we call virtuism. One of the virtuology tools that assists virtuification is consciousness theorem. It determines that the degree of one's well-being equals the degree of one's consciousness. In other words, the theorem of consciousness states that the level of our individual and collective well-being, of our success, prosperity, health, and relationships is equal to the level of our consciousness. Since we raise consciousness with virtues, the scope of our well-being is in proportion to the extent to which we cultivate our virtues. The level of our well-being, including our wealth, health, work, and relationships, is determined by the level of our consciousness, which is determined by how much we cultivate virtues during each day. By raising the level of our consciousness, we raise the level of our material and spiritual well-being. We raise the level of our consciousness by virtufying ourselves, that is, by activating and cultivating highly potent virtues. Well-being is our natural state of being. It has nothing to do with others or with external conditions, because we all have access to well-being at all times through our inborn virtues. Virtuology is all about raising consciousness to the modes of virtues that bring about success and well-being. The way to make a shift in life is to make a shift in perception and a paradigm shift, which is done by raising your consciousness using your virtues. Elevated consciousness naturally elevates the results. Rising to a more potent mode of consciousness enables a much greater perception and prudence needed for best decision-making and problem-solving. Only when your consciousness rises above a certain mode can you perceive reality with clarity and in its purity. All decisions should be made and problems resolved when you are in a mode of a virtue, rather than in a mode of law. The premise of the science of virtues is that the quality of our outer lives corresponds to the quality of our inner life. Your outside world is only a reflection of your inside world. So, for your life to become better, you need to become better. Therefore, virtues are the way. Virtuology is not there to teach anything, but empower you to transform yourself by throwing light on the power and benefits of your inborn virtues and equipping you with the tools for transformation so that you can attain the ultimate freedom, peace, and well-being. Instead of teaching, instructions, exercises, and techniques, Virtuology provides a toolkit, which includes, among other things, the scale of consciousness, consciousness theorem, virtuification model, maxims, chants, songs, poems, enneagram, books, courses, seminars, workshops, retreats, shows, expeditions, etc. One such amazing tool is the scale of consciousness. It presents the spectrum of modes of consciousness, calibrated with a kinesiology method by a pioneering researcher in the field of consciousness, psychiatrist Dr. David Hawkins. It is a virtuification tool for raising on consciousness to higher, constructive, and potent modes with activating and cultivating the virtues. Virtuology proposes virtuification and unity as the means of peace and development. Peace and prosperity are a natural outcome of a virtue-based society with a virtue-driven economy, which we called virtuism. In the light of global economic, ecological, and cultural changes, it becomes clearer that the old systems are not that effective any longer, and that to achieve lasting peace and prosperity, we need to keep up with the times and adapt to the new concepts of acquiring the required competencies. In the modern world, the outdated formal education is not enough to equip us for success. Therefore, it must be enhanced with informal and self-education. In the era of increased individualization of society, education is increasingly becoming the responsibility of the individual, for which virtuology is an excellent support. Contemporary education lacks explicit attention to virtue. To address this gap, the virtuology program situates virtue at the center of its educational model. Here are our organizations and innovations. Take advantage of our eclectically styled program and visit us at virtuology.biz. It features a kaleidoscopic video collection with great panache, a lot of pizzas, and a certain razzle-dazzle on top. Enjoy!